Night, March 8, 2014, 239 people on board. The plane disappears, without a stop signal, without a care, simply, it vanishes from radar. The map is left blank. The largest search operation in aviation history begins. Thousands of kilometers of ocean, dozens of countries, and not a single clear answer. The more they search, the stranger this story becomes. The plane could have changed course, fly for several more hours, and then disappeared where no one expected it. To this day, no one can say for sure what happened that night. By the end of this video, you'll know everything investigators know, and understand why this story still terrifies the world. It was supposed to be a routine flight. The plane departs Kuala Lumpur and heads to Beijing. An overnight flight, calm skies. On board are passengers from different countries. Some are flying home, some are on business trips. It's an ordinary night that wasn't supposed to be special. The cockpit is staffed by an experienced crew. Captain Zahari Ahmad Shah. With over 18,000 flight hours, he is one of the airline's most experienced pilots. Next to him is First Officer Farik Abdul Hamid, a young pilot just starting his career. Everything is going according to plan. The plane is gaining altitude and reaching cruising altitude. Communication with air traffic control is stable. No alarms, no signs of trouble. And here comes the moment that will be the last. Airside boundary. The plane is preparing to transfer control to another controller. Calm words are heard from the cockpit. Good night, Malaysian 370. A typical farewell, a typical phrase, but right after that, the plane will disappear. 1:21 a.m. At this moment, something happens that should never happen. The plane's transponder switches off. It no longer transmits any information about itself. Not its altitude, not its coordinates, not even its call sign. To civilian radar, the plane simply vanishes, as if it no longer exists. But it's not gone. Military radars detect strange movement. The plane abruptly changes course, turns around, and flies back, over the Malay Peninsula. Silence, no communication, no explanation. This isn't just a disappearance. This is a deliberate act. The plane continues to fly, but no one is controlling it. And the most frightening thing is that at this moment, no one raises the alarm. Not the air traffic controllers, not the military, not the security systems. Precious minutes pass in silence. Each one is a lost opportunity. Why didn't anyone react immediately? Why didn't the plane that veered off course and disappeared from radar trigger an immediate alarm? The answer lies in the system's failures. Various agencies didn't exchange information in a timely manner. Responsibility was blurred, and decisions were slow. As a result, the plane could fly for hours, while the world didn't even realize it was already missing. And that's what makes this story truly frightening, not just because the plane was missing, but because it had time, lots of time, and no one stopped it. The strangest thing begins after the disappearance. Because the plane doesn't crash, it keeps flying, but now no one can see it. The only clue comes later, from an Inmarsat satellite. Even without a transponder, the plane remains visible to the satellite network. Not directly, but through so-called handshakes. This is an automatic signal. Once an hour, the system checks to see if the plane is still in contact. And it responds, again and again, every hour, a short signal into the void. It's from these signals that mathematicians begin to reconstruct the route. They analyze the response delay, and convert it into distance. Thus, an arc appears. Then another, and another. Each ping is a circle of possible aircraft position. This leaves two options: the northern route towards Asia, and the southern route deep into the Indian Ocean. But the northern route is almost immediately ruled out. No country detected the plane in its airspace. No radar, no air defense system. All that remains is the south. A vast, empty, cold ocean. A place where the plane could have disappeared forever. The last signal comes at 8:19 a.m. After that, silence. No answers, no handshakes, nothing. The fuel is running low. And somewhere in the vast ocean, the plane ends its journey. But where exactly, no one knows. And this turns the search into one of the most complex mysteries in the history of aviation. The largest search operation in aviation history begins. Dozens of countries are participating, but the main forces are Australia, China, and Malaysia. Planes patrol the skies, ships comb the ocean, thousands of square kilometers of water, where everything, or nothing, could be. The search goes deeper. Literally, robots are being lowered underwater, to a depth of 4, 5, even 6 kilometers. where the darkness is absolute, and the pressure can crush metal. They scan the ocean floor, methodically, over and over, but they find nothing. No hull, no black boxes, no trace of the disaster. Years pass. In 2015, the first piece of debris was found on Reunion Island. It was part of a wing, a flaperon. Later, finds appeared in Mozambique and Tanzania. The ocean washed them ashore. Scattered, worn, but real. Forensic analysis confirms they belong to Flight MH370. So the plane really did crash, somewhere out there, in the Indian Ocean. But where exactly remains a mystery. And the more debris they find, the clearer one thing becomes. The crash site has still not been found. Over the years, dozens of theories have emerged, but 3 are truly discussed. The first is the pilot. The captain is Zahari Ahmad Shah, experienced, respected, but his personal life is going through a difficult time. Divorce, loneliness, and the most disturbing thing is that they find a flight simulator in his home. With remote routes, one of them goes deep into the Indian Ocean, almost to the same place where they will later search for the plane. Coincidence? Or a carefully planned route? The theory sounds terrifying. Deliberate disappearance, suicide, along with 238 people on board. But there is no direct evidence, only circumstantial coincidences. The second theory is depressurization. For example, a fire in the cargo hold. The crew attempts to return, hence the sharp turn, but then the cabin fills with smoke or the plane loses pressure. The pilots lose consciousness, the passengers do too. The plane remains on autopilot and flies for hours until the fuel runs out. This version explains the silence, explains the ghost flight, but it doesn't provide a definitive answer why the transponder was manually disabled and why everything happened so sequentially. The third is conspiracy theory. Secret cargo, Chinese military technology, intelligence conspiracy. They even mention the Central Intelligence Agency. It sounds grand, but upon investigation, it falls apart. There is no confirmed information about special cargo, no evidence of interference from other countries. There is not a single fact that stands up to scrutiny. Just guesses, and in the end, none of the versions provides a complete answer. Each explains part of the story, but not the whole picture. And that means, the mystery of Flight MH370 remains unsolved. Years have passed, but the story isn't over. In 2024, Malaysia announces a new search, and Ocean Infinity sets sail again for the Indian Ocean. With new technology, with new hope, but with the same question. Where is he? 239 people, 239 families who still don't know what happened to their loved ones. No answers, no closure, and perhaps forever. Because this isn't just a story about a missing plane. It's a reminder of how fragile control can be. Of how even in a world of technology, satellites, and radar, a plane with hundreds of people on board can simply disappear and leave behind only silence.